YouTube. What's up? What's up? I see Nate up in the spot. What's up with you, Nate? What's up? What's up? What's going on for everybody coming up in the spot as well, man? We're going to be discussing for my people over there coming in YouTube, guys. Make sure that you share tonight broadcast. Make sure you go ahead, like, share, comment, all the good stuff. Click the notification bell to stay up to date on so you don't miss any of the actual broadcast videos. So shout out. Giving our people just a few more minutes before I go ahead and start digging into this actual topic, which we got a new Speaker of the House, ultra conservative Mike Johnson. And the Speaker of the House thing has been kind of crazy going on lately. He's been voicing his back in 2019, he was firmly against reparations. He used his quote unquote adopted child to go ahead and try to steer that discussion. Sometimes have these people that's around black folks that become experts on black people and this and that, and they know what's best for them. So he was playing that little game with folks as well too. So I want to go ahead and dig up in that and touch up on that tonight as well too. So I'm going to give a couple more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to discuss this topic. We're going to go ahead and discuss this topic. Like I say, shout out to everybody coming up in the space. Definitely retweet the space out. We will be getting it rolling in just a second. I'm going to give our people a few more minutes, a minute or two, and then we're going to go ahead and start discussing this. And I definitely look forward, because I'd be glad to have Mel up in the spot. So I definitely look forward to hearing what Mel's got to say tonight as well too. Mel is always very informative and definitely not shy to voice her opinion about things as well too. So I definitely look forward to hearing Mel. Hopefully Original, if he get a chance, he'll come up in the space. Original can go. So he'll definitely come up in here and he'll get on the mic or whatever. Ray, if you get a chance tonight, I know you're busy studying and everything else as well too. So you get a chance to come up in here for a second or whatnot. I know you got the kids, and like I said, I know it's Halloween and whatnot. You might just be in the space, but you might be out on the street with your kids in their costumes and stuff like that, going door to door. So, but if you get a chance to come up in the space and you want to share anything tonight, please, as always, come up in here and do what you do. We're gonna give you the microphone to do what you got to do. So, guys, I think now's as good a time as any to go ahead and start the space up. Shout out to all the people that's up in the actual in the Newstoter Twitter feed room space. Shout out to my people coming into YouTube land. For those coming to YouTube, like I said before, definitely go ahead and subscribe, like, share, click the notification bell to stay up to date on the broadcast. If you have not, make sure you visit newstoter.com daily, the largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform today in America. That's newstoter.com. So, okay, guys. I want to touch up on this. This is from the Jim Crow website, the Neo Jim Crow. Good website, guys. Check it out. One of our curation partners. And the actual, of course, you see the actual the title of the room on Twitter, and the title on YouTube may be a little bit different. On YouTube, you guys are seeing where it says GOP Speaker of the House Mike Johnson uses his so-called adopted black son to attack reparations. Of course, on Twitter, we can't get all of that in the actual headline. So on Twitter, you're seeing Speaker of the House uses his black kid to attack reparations. I put so-called because, to my knowledge, he never officially adopted a kid, so even though he's talking about his son and this and his son that, legally, there was no adoption to our knowledge. So let me go ahead and touch up on this. On race, Mike Johnson says his views were shaped by raising a black child. The new House Speaker has kept his oldest son out the public eye, except when the Republican talks about race. When Mike Johnson, the new House Speaker, talks about race in America, he often draws a striking personal connection, telling the story of how he and his wife, Kelly, took custody of a black teenager 24 years ago and raised him as a son. I have walked with him through discrimination that he had to endure over the years and the hurdles he sometimes faced, he told a House committee in 2019 while testifying against reparations for slavery. I know all of this because I was with him When Mr. Johnson was named Speaker of the House this week, his relationship with his son, like much of Mr. Johnson's personal political life, faced new scrutiny. There is no mention of the man who is now an adult raising his own family in California in Mr. Johnson's official biography, and he does not appear in the family photos posted on the congressman's website. Mr. Johnson has 4 biological children, 2 daughters and 2 sons. On Friday, Mr. Johnson sought to explain the absence, and it was in deference to his son Michael's request for privacy. At the time of the Speaker's election to Congress, Michael was an adult with a family of his own. Karine Day, the Speaker's communication director, said in a statement first reported by Newsweek, he asked not to be involved in their new public life. The Speaker has respected that sentiment throughout his career and maintains a close relationship with Michael to this day. The attention now being paid to Mr. Johnson as well as Michael reflects new world. It reflects the new world has entered with the abrupt move to a position that puts him second in line of succession to the presidency. Before this week, Mr. Johnson was an obscure Southern Republican with little known about his background beyond his home state. The story of Michael, who was 14 when he joined the Johnson family, was even less known. In his public remarks over the year, Mr. Johnson describes Michael as his son and did not correct the interviewer who described Michael as adopted. Ms. Day said in the interview that the Johnsons did not formally adopt Michael because of the lengthy adoption process. Ms. Day declined to say whether Michael was using Johnson as his surname. Michael could not be reached for comment. Mr. Johnson has spoken publicly about Michael largely when he's talked about race. He has described Michael as a success story and likened the experience of being a white couple adopting a black teenager to the movie The Blindside, the 2009 film that depicts a wealthy white family taking in an impoverished black teenager who becomes a football star. In his testimony on racial reparations before a subcommittee of Judiciary Committee, Mr. Johnson said that Michael, too, opposed reparations because it defied an important tradition of self-reliance. Mr. Johnson's comments drew boos from supporters of reparations in the hearing. Black lawmakers in Congress who are overwhelmingly Democrat did not welcome Mr. Johnson's rise. The Congressional Black Caucus issued a statement this week upon Mr. Johnson's election to the speakership, describing him as a Trump-backed extremist who wants to criminalize abortion and cut programs like Social Security and Medicare. Mr. Johnson's remarks on race have also drawn criticism from the right. In 2020, an interview on PBS, he spoke with journalist Walter Isaacson about the racial tensions in America in the immediate aftermath of the killing of George Floyd, a black man by a white Minneapolis police officer. Mr. Johnson described the killing of Mr. Floyd as an act of murder and said he had learned about racial disparities in America firsthand from raising a black son. At the time, Mr. Johnson noted that his oldest biological son, Jack, was not the same age as Michael was when he came into the house. And I've thought about all of these ordeals over the last couple of weeks about the difference in experiences between my 2 14-year-old sons, he said in the PBS interview. Michael being a black American and Jack being white Caucasian, they have different challenges. My son Jack has an easier path. He just does. When he was nominated for House Speaker this month, Mr. Johnson, a hardline conservative whose election to the new post has been applauded by the conservative movement, earned those remarks rare criticism from the right, which viewed them as an acknowledgement of systematic racism. Matt Walsh, a right-wing podcast on the Daily Wire, wrote on X that Mr. Johnson's comments about Mr. Floyd amounted to a full-fledged endorsement of the left's radical narrative and called the 2020 interview completely disqualifying. Lori Loomer, a far-right ally of Donald J. Trump, accused Mr. Johnson of being an undercover Democrat, asking in a post on X what type of MAGA Republican says something like this. But when asked about the criticism in his first lengthy interview since becoming Speaker, Mr. Johnson appeared to downplay the role he believes race played in the lives of Jack and Michael. Having raised 2 14-year-old boys in America in the state of Louisiana, they had different experiences, he told Fox News host Sean Hannity on Thursday. And I'm not sure it was all about skin color, but it was about culture and society. Michael, our first, came from a really troubled background and had a lot of challenges. So when it was time to get up there and actually get in that spot and actually get some real power, he kind of backpedaled on that whole race thing, that what him and his 2 sons actually went through. Not that he actually really believed it anyways in the first place. He did from his point of view. He's trying to say that his son Michael actually was against reparations because, well, reparations was against being self-reliant. In other words, reparations is pretty much a handout, is what his black son Michael said. Now, Michael, outside of the little and if you check up the jumbotron, there's an article. There's an older picture with the wife and Michael in the middle, and Mike Johnson. Michael is never ever seen with the family. He's never in any photographs except that one that I saw on the article. He's never in any photographs. He's never interviewed. He's never seen. He's never anything. So the only thing we know about Michael is what Mike Johnson says. Mike Johnson says that Michael's against reparations, even though he's saying that initially before, and which is crazy, he's against reparations. Michael is. In 2019, how old was Michael? He said, because Michael's was supposed to be, what, 28 now? How old is Michael? I forgot how old Michael's supposed to be, but they had a skit on Saturday Night Live also making fun of it. They had a little spoof or whatever, but however old Michael's supposed to be, he's still supposed to be, I don't think he's that much younger than the actual man that actually adopted him or whatever. So Michael is against reparations. Michael's a young cat. He's against reparations because it goes against self-reliance. This seems like something that had to be drilled into his head, because I'm sure he wasn't really even well versed on reparations. But nonetheless, he's against reparations because, quote unquote, that's what Mike Johnson says. Mike Johnson acknowledged back in 2019 that the black kid he was raising and his own actual biological kid had different challenges that they face in the world. One of them had, different just basically because of how one looked and everything else. Now he gets interviewed by Sean Hannity. He's a new Speaker of the House, and everything is flipped from that 2019, that little 2019 clip he was talking about reparations and this and that or whatever, or 2020 when he was actually talking about George Floyd and how George Floyd was murdered and stuff like that. Everything is flipped. I'd be interested to actually get his opinion on how he feels about the George Floyd situation, since now he's changed everything. He's saying that, hey, basically Michael and my son, the differences they had in life was just based on culture and basically upbringing, and it had really nothing to do whatsoever with race. Race was just the last thing. So he's totally flipped as he's got the power. He's definitely somebody that basically the Republicans can now just lean on. He's just a yes man. He's sitting up here. And now he uses the black kid, and he's going to use the black kid again as well. We talk about how successful he is and how he's made it and this and that, and he didn't need a handout. He didn't need this. He didn't need that. And nobody else needs it as well, too. So by using the adopted kid, quote unquote, he ain't adopted because the actual process was too lengthy. He didn't correct the actual interview when they asked him about him being adopted. He goes ahead and he acknowledges the kid as being his son, but he's not adopted. He's never seen with the family. Let him, and I shouldn't call him a kid. He's a man. He said he's a man with his own family. He wants to be left out the public eye. You would think that this young man would be so grateful to him for everything that he's done that he wouldn't actually mind sitting down and say, hey, you know what? I want to just thank these people for raising me and giving me, a home to come to and a place to be at. Not only that, but he also back in 2019 he did a comparison to the movie the Blindside, and we already know about that movie. We already know about the whole situation going on with the actual dude that was the actual character in the movie and everything else. And we see how that is just going haywire and stuff like that. So comparing this situation to the actual Blindside is not actually the best comparison to actually make as well, too. So shout out, I see a couple of our people up in the space. I thought I saw a black majority state up here, but I guess not as well, too. And we're just talking about this situation. We have a Speaker of the House who has an actual quote-unquote black son, quote-unquote. I don't know. Like I say, nobody sees this guy outside the picture. And like I said, you'd have to actually click on the article to actually see it. I don't know if you can see it up in the Jumbotron, but nobody actually sees this young man. Apparently, the young man doesn't want to be interviewed. He doesn't want to be talked to. He just wants to be left alone and this and that or whatever. So we don't know exactly what's what. He has a black child that basically nobody sees, nobody hears from, nobody communicates with, but they did so much to raise him and everything else. And at the same time, this same black child is a man now with his own family, says that, hey, that this whole reparation thing, it's a knock against self-reliance. Basically it's that It's that same talking point that, basically trying to give money to a bunch of people who hadn't done anything, lazy people that want to get paid and get rich off of something that they didn't go through personally. So he'll fit right in with the actual MAGA Republicans we got that's on the hill right now. He'll fit right in. And that's why he was chosen as well too, to be a lackey. So he's already putting it out there. He's already letting you know that, hey, I know black people that's against reparations. Hell, I know black people that's against reparations because I got one that I raised. And if this 14-year-old can come from a troubled background and he could make it and keep his nose clean and walk the straight and narrow and provide for his family and do this and do that or whatever, part of the American dream. If you work hard, you can make it in this country, and anybody else can make it. And there's no need to sit up here and be divisive and talk about reparations. You can already hear it coming. Like I said, he's already perfectly framed this whole story as well too. So that's what it is tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody coming in on this Halloween. I hope everybody's safe and whatnot. Like I said, I see we got a number of people up in the space as well too. So let me give a shout out real quick. I see Carlos up in here, Cassandra, Goddess. What's up with you as well too? What's up with you guys up in the space tonight? This ain't gonna be a long space. I see Mikhail, he's up. I know you over there in Africa as well too. So if you definitely want to speak on it, definitely go ahead. I will get you up in here because I know the connection issue over there in the motherland and just being so far away is not the easiest thing. I'm not even sure what the time frame. I know you over there in Ethiopia, I believe, brother. So shout out to you. If you definitely want to get on the mic, let me know. We'll definitely get you up here. Shout out to my man over there, Abdul over there in YouTube land as well too. Abdul says no reparations, no vote. Abdul, only thing about this right here is this is a Republican speaking, and he was elected. So I mean, he was voted in basically by his own people. So he didn't have to worry about getting a vote or whatever outside the people in Congress. So I feel you on that. We got a lot of people discussing that they may not be voting next year either in the presidential election. That's catching on fire on social media as well too. You got a lot of folks saying that, hey, if I don't hear anything really tangible, concrete, if I don't hear anything that's going to be directly for me, I'm not voting. So that puts a lot of pressure on the Democrats because we already know the GOP, they're not going to do anything at this point in time. And the only thing that you can get the Democrats to do is to go along with it. And since they're not going along, they're not following along. You got a lot of people sitting up here talking about withholding their actual vote. We'll see. I heard that talk before in the last election, and a lot of people end up saying they were going to do it, and they end up voting anyways. I'm not telling people one way or another what to do. That's up to you. That's a personal decision. You got to decide what you want to do, what's best for you. But that is that is a possibility for a number of people out there as well too. So that's what it is. Black Majority State, what's up? What's up? I see you up in the space. I know I saw you early up in here, Black, but then it seemed like I lost you for a second as well too. So shout out to Black Majority State up in the space as well too. And yeah, Mike Johnson, like I said, this guy relatively unknown. It seemed like he was just chosen when they had this whole coup or whatever. Just another yes man. Just somebody who, I mean, what was Mike Johnson from? Louisiana? What was he from again? Y'all know where he's from? I think he's from Louisiana. Wherever he's from, nobody knew him. A career politician. Nobody really knew who this dude was. It's just somebody that the Republicans can lean on in the House or whatever. So, he has nothing. Has anybody seen his son, though? Has anybody seen this dude, Michael? Have y'all seen Michael? I've never seen, like I say, I've seen him on the picture with the wife and him, and Michael was a teenager. Has anybody seen anything on social media with Michael whatsoever? Like, there's no pictures, there's nothing of this dude background. I'm sure he has to exist. But has anybody seen a dude, Michael? They don't even know his last name. People like he declined to say whether he was using the last name or whatnot. So does anybody know anything about this dude, Michael? This is one of the most bizarre stories I've ever heard. Normally when somebody has an adopted child or whatever, that child is with them, they're proud to say this or that or whatever. Nobody even knows where this cat is at. Has anybody seen the actual adopted son? Know anything about it? Black majority state, male. Any of you guys have any trouble? Any of you have any of you guys actually seen anything with this actual black son? He's a man now, and he's supposed to have his own family. Is he into politics? Is he a business owner? Is he college educated? Is he a dropout? I mean, exactly where is this black cat at? Nobody seems to know. I don't know. Like I said, I tweeted this story out last week and read up on it, and it still didn't make much sense to me. So I'm trying to figure out if any of you guys know exactly. Nobody know. They don't even say they. I mean, they wouldn't even tell you if he's using his last name. How can you decline the actual the communication director, Kareen Day? She declined to say whether he was actually using Johnson's last name. I mean, the community director, I mean, what the communication director, what kind of crap is that? She won't even say, hey, yeah, he's using his name. No, he's not. He'd rather just use his own. I mean, what is this? I've never heard anything as bizarre as this right here. You know, either he has his own name or he took the family's name or whatever it is. Nobody knows where he lives. Nobody knows how he looks. Nobody knows anything about his family. Only thing we know is what Mike Johnson says. Mike Johnson said is this and that or whatever. He wanted to stay out of the public eye or whatever, which I find kind of hard to believe. Like, stay out the public eye as much as you want to. Your stepdad or your adopted dad, I should say, is the actual Speaker of the House. So, you know, unless you just scrubbed everything online and scrubbed this guy's existence and scrubbed his Social Security and scrubbed everything, how is this even possible? How can this dude, there's like absolutely no trace of him, like the eraser, like Schwarzenegger, like everything about his personality, everything about his life, his history, everything outside of this picture. If you're on YouTube, there's a picture, like I say, with the wife and Mike and the kid in the middle. That's the only thing that we know. Like, exactly where does he live at? What does he do for a living? Was he grateful for being adopted by these people? What's his political affiliation? Is he really against reparations? What he said in 2019, because he feels that it's a hindrance. It's stopping you from being self-reliant. Like, are they trying to keep him away from the public's eye? Because people might ask him, say, hey, you know what? Are you really serious that you think reparations is detrimental against self-reliance? Like, exactly where is this dude at? How can he not be found? Trouble, what's up? Do you know where he's at? Do you know where he lives at? Do you know what school his kids go to? Have you seen any pictures of him on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram? What's up? Let us know something.
So I'm looking online, and apparently he did not adopt this black kid. This black kid was inside of a group home, and he was 14 years old at the time. He was at an evangelical youth group, and because Mike Johnson said that it was a lengthy adoption process, and the Bible allows it, he just took the boy home with him. So technically, he did not adopt this young boy who was 14 years old at the time, and it is now 38 years old. Mike Johnson is 51 years old, I think they're saying.
Yeah.
So having a 38-year-old supposedly adopted son really just kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then he's saying that the reason why he's not in any pictures recently is because the man wants his privacy to be respected. He doesn't want people to find out, you know, he doesn't want to be thrown in the midst of this. They're not putting his name out or any of that, but there is a picture of him when he was 14 years old. But as a grown man, no, they don't have that. So that's just a little bit of information that I found out. He claimed to have adopted this 14-year-old boy, but technically he didn't go through the proper procedures. He just took him home, which that sounds a little white people-ish to me.
It sounds crazy to me.
You know, so it's either some fabricated foolishness, or you befriended a young man in your evangelical process of youth program, who came around often, who, played with your son, who was around the same age, and you claimed that he was like a son to you, and now you're using that as propaganda to say, hey, I have a 14-year-old black son. And, I believe that, this little systemic racism thing, because you got some politicians that's trying to play to both sides of the aisle, even though they're technically sitting on one particular side. So I call BS on this. I call BS on the whole thing. And until this so-called black, and even if the black man shows himself, I'm still calling BS because you never went through the right channels to adopt him. What is this, the Blindside part 2?
Well, that's what he compared it to when I was reading. I don't know if you was in the space when I was reading the story. That's what he compared it to. He compared it to that actual movie. That's the situation, and we see exactly how jacked up the Blind Side was, and that's what he compared it to.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that's definitely crazy. So that's all I wanted to add was just that was all I found online. Found a picture of him when he was younger. There was actually a couple of pictures when he was younger, but the two pictures don't really seem like the same person. One seems like a picture of a young black male that was kind of chubby, and then there's another picture of this young black male who's tall and skinny. So they need to investigate homie and see what type of freak he got in his closet, because something ain't right about that.
Real talk, Trouble, and not only that, but like I say, he's done a 180 as well too, because he was talking about his black sons back in 2019 and what he faces and this and that, and it's different than his actual biological white son. Now, when they started vetting him for that actual speaker role on, and they started on social media, started going in on him and stuff like that, he started reversing it and whatnot. He kind of started flip-flopping a little bit. When he was on there with Hannity, he totally, last Thursday, he totally went ahead and flipped it. He was like, well, what the different experiences that they have, it's not about skin color, it's about culture, and it's about society and upbringing, and he had a lot of challenges and this and that. So that's like the whole thing when people start talking about, well, it's not really about racism, it's about classism. Like that's a good way of trying to throw and get rid of race out of the entire topic. Like, well, it's not so much about black and white as much as it is about rich and poor and class and all this other kind of nonsense and stuff like that. Because, he started having some of these actual, Matt Walsh and some of these other people, Lori Loomer and stuff, they started kind of getting on him and asking, are you truly a MAGA Republican? And, he was going to go on there with Hannity. And the fact of the matter that he said in 2020 that George Floyd was deleted, a lot of the GOP, they were like, well, that's not a talking point that we say. You can't say that kind of stuff like that. I mean, are you one of us or are you one of them? So he had to go ahead and backtrack a little bit with the whole race thing, with the George Floyd thing, and like we said, he's using the actual he's using the black kid that he's going to use one of your own to say, well, hey, I'm white and I'm against reparations, but he's black and he's against it too. And just look at how such a fine man he grew up to be. So it's that kind of nonsense right there. When you already got, well, I know black, he's going to be the man he raised, the kid he raised, or whatever you want to call him. He's going to be one of the black people he knows that also doesn't agree with racism, with reparations as well too. Feels that reparations is divisive. And reparations, what he said that the actual young man said that reparation goes against actual self-reliance. Now, who talking point is that? Did this young guy actually come up with that in 2019? Did he actually say that? Or did Mr. Johnson actually put that into his mindset to go ahead and say that it's against self-reliance? So
white folks speak with forked tongues, and if you're not producing the person who made that comment, and if he's been around you and your whole white family his whole black life, then I would expect him to have those type of self-hate type of talking points. And I don't really, at this point, I'm tired of hearing from white folks as far as their thoughts on reparations anyhow, especially when you bring up points like, self-reliance and it's divisive. There's nothing more divisive about paying a debt that's owed when when the same country has not only paid other groups for debts that they owed those groups, but you continue to take monies and place it in other countries for whatever reason you deem necessary to put monies for. And I'm not talking about a little couple of dollars. I'm not talking about a $1,200 stimulus package or a $600 stimulus package. You all are giving billions on top of billions on top of billions on top of billions to fund whatever it is that you deem necessary and viable to this country or for your own self-interest. But when it comes to anything Negro, that's when it becomes divisive. It's not divisive for you to say, well, these immigrants deserve an opportunity and, we need to bolster our workforce. You'll put money into immigrants, and that's not divisive to the American citizens who are already here, who you could give those resources to and train for those same positions. You want these immigrants to take over, but you don't see that as being divisive. But if you give the Negroes who have been here, who built this country, who made it possible for all of these people to come to, it's divisive. So I really, I'm just tired of hearing from these people, these aliens, these non-humanoids that feel like if they because they say so, that it's supposed to be so, and the conversation would just drop and go away. It's not going to be dropped. It's not going to go away. And they're going to have to eventually deal with it at some point in time. And as my stance goes, you can deal with it the easy way, you can deal with it the hard way, but at some point in time, you're going to have to deal with it. You're probably going to have to deal with it our way.
Real talk, Trouble. And let me add this point before I get to DJ. The thing, and you made a great point about that actual stimulus and the $600 and the $1,200. Now, you have people that will come in here and they'll tell you, so you know what? That was for black people. Black people did benefit. Black people, that actually helped black people out the most and stuff like that. You'll even have black Democrats that'll come in and say that. They'll say stuff like that. They'll say stuff like the student loan debt disproportionately impacts black people more than anybody else. So it did. So that did help black people. That was for black people. Things of that nature like that. It never fails. You'll have black people come election time that'll sit up here and say that as well too. I want to read something real quick too that Black Majority just sent me. And Black Majority says, in 2020 interview, Mr. Johnson explained that Michael was in his mid-30s and lived in California with 4 children. Representative Johnson said he shares his testimony that were it not for our intervention in his life, that he certainly would have joined the gang, got no drugs, wound up in prison or dead on the street somewhere. And that's just the harsh reality that what we have here. So he's already telling, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the danger of this kind of stuff right here. This is that savior complex right here. He's sitting up and telling you, had we not come up into his life, had we not got into his life, he wouldn't be here today. Now, here's the thing that I'm having a problem right here. You are all of this to this kid at the time who's a man now. You basically, from what you just told us, you're the reason for his success. You're the reason that he's alive. You're the reason that anything that he's made himself is because you and his wife and the family structure that he couldn't get elsewhere. All of this stuff that you did for him. Yet, in your biggest political moment, the biggest moment of your career, he's nowhere to be found. He doesn't want to be interviewed. He doesn't want to be seen. Your own communication director doesn't even want to say if he's sporting your last name or not. And Trevor, you're right. It wouldn't matter if he adopted him legally or not. Hey, if he took him in and he did this and did that or whatever, people would still consider him a father figure to him. All of this and all of that, he doesn't want to say anything whatsoever. He doesn't want to. He just wants to be left alone. He don't want to say, hey, you know what? I'm not big on this interview and stuff, but I do want to give Mike Johnson and Miss Johnson a shout out because of them. I thank them so much for what they've done for me. Congratulations. You deserve it. None of this is uttered by this young man who's almost 40 years old himself. None of this is uttered by him. No, thank you. No, I appreciate it. Everything, the sacrifice, bringing me into your family and trusting me around your family. None of this. We don't hear any of this whatsoever. None of this whatsoever. So go ahead, Trouble.
How is a 25-year-old man going to adopt or take in a 14-year-old boy you're 11 years older than, and then you claim to have the year that you claim to have taken him in, which was 1997. You got married in 1999, but he was a 25-year-old man. That's more of a mentor position rather than a fatherly position. So I don't understand where he's coming up. His numbers just aren't adding up.
But trouble, even the common sense part, me, you, most of the people in this space, if this person had done everything that he said that he's done for this young man, I think most of us, if we actually live with somebody that helped raise us, helped get us, we of course we were a teenager, but he helped get us finish high school. Looks like he went on to college. Or if he didn't go to college, he at least made something out of himself or whatever. Maybe got a trade, got a job, whatever it was. He did all of this and that. And in this person's biggest moment in their life, the biggest moment in their career, they become Speaker of the House. This is not something that the average person is ever going to accomplish. This person is second in line to being the president of the United States. And you can't come out and say, hey, thank you, or I'm proud of you. Great job. You can't send out a tweet. You can't send out an Instagram post. You can't send out anything whatsoever. A letter. I mean, you can't even get a spokesman to come out and say, yeah, I just want to go ahead and give a big thank you to Mike Johnson, and you're definitely the top person for this position. I love you so much, or whatever. Nothing whatsoever. Not one peep. Nothing. He wants to be totally left alone. But like I said, nobody has a problem mentioning the actual stance he took on reparations back in 2019 or whatever. That he didn't have a problem saying that, hey, he was against this because I'm really against it, but I'm going to say he's against it too because, hey, it's a knock against self-reliance. Like, where is this dude at? And then this other article I was reading the other day as well too, and damn, I meant to pull it up. The cat Matt Gaetz, the one that helped lead this whole insurrection in the House now, allegedly, he had this article saying that, they was talking about the black boy that Mike Johnson got and who he raised. And then they talk about that Matt Gaetz also has a Cuban son that he actually helped raise as well, too. And people are like, well, where are they finding these boys from? Quote unquote. Like, I mean, where are they finding them from? Where are they coming from? And I know Matt Gaetz is in Florida, and there's no shortage of Cuban boys down here in Florida, but come on, like, I mean, what's up with this whole white savior complex thing going on as well too? That we're finding all of these kids of color, people of color, all of these minorities coming from these disadvantaged homes, and we're taking them in and we're raising them and we're raising them up, and they're becoming fine young men and fine lads and all this other nonsense that they're talking about. Like, man, come on, this dude here, I would think that he would say something. He would have came out. He would have did something. I think most of the people in this space, if you had a person that raised you, basically raised you, and what you say, took him from a group home, raised you, got you out of group home. Now you're having a somewhat successful life. You got a family of your own, this and that or whatever. I think that most of us would say, hey, you know what? I just want to go ahead and say thank you to them. Thank you for everything we did. But the fact of the matter, like I said, the comparison is between that Blindside movie that we know was a bunch of horse hockey, and this right here makes you kind of think, maybe something ain't all that at what they're claiming to be anyways. DJ, what's up? I know you up in the space. Go ahead, you got it. Anybody else that wants to speak as well too? Black, I know you probably at work as well too, but if you get a chance, definitely come up here, because that was, I saw you also posted something as well too in the comments section. But if you get a chance, Black, I know you at work, but if you get a chance, definitely come up and speak. But DJ, what's up?
I ain't want none, man. It's me and Big Baby Rod. Never said, man. Real talk, though. But what I was gonna say something too. Yeah, shout out to the Room Newstoter family. What's going on? Shut the room out. You already know what time it is. Shout out to the scrutiny. I'll be over there in a second. Yeah, we gotta start letting these folks pretty much utilize us for their talking points and everything. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this is like another blindside situation, like Trump said. So, they only utilize us and our issues or our problems to pick themselves up. So the moment we can stop that, the moment we can pretty much get our stuff together as far as, moving forward with our reparations claim, Black State of America, our Black media, and everything else. And I'm driving, so I'll yield there for a second.
All right. Well, no, actually, Trouble didn't say it. I didn't say it. Black Majority State didn't say it. He said it. He said the Blindside. He made the whole Blindside comparison. Like we didn't. He came up with it. And here's I think Black Majority State. He paraphrased, and I guess this is from an article from YouTube. Mike Johnson explains his adopted black son's low profile. He likened, and he quoted and said he likened his and his wife's decision to take custody of Michael decades ago to the movie The Blind Side, saying, "Have you seen the story The Blind Side? That was our story, except Michael was not an NFL prospect. We took him in as our own." Okay, this is this guy actually saying this right here. This Blind Side thing, it's a lot of people that actually believe this stuff right here. I'm gonna be honest, like I told you, we did a space on The Blind Side, and I forgot it was part of a bigger space, but we talked about it. I never liked that movie. I never liked the premise of it. I saw the actual trailer of it. I watched a few minutes of it. I never ever liked that movie. Something to me was just off about the movie. I'm like, I can't stomach this thing right here. This is just, and they made this the character on there just this big dumb ogre who, you know, had it not been for what's her name, Sandra Bullock character, who knows where he would have been at. To me, it was like he was exceptionally slow. He didn't know anything. I mean, she had to teach him how to play football and this and that. I couldn't watch it. I just couldn't stomach it. I was like, nah, I know this is nonsense right here. Sometimes, you know, when Hollywood is just buttering it up, like they'll tell you when they come on with a movie, they say, well, yeah, this is a true story, but certain parts have been added in for drama purposes. Yeah. And yeah, a whole lot of it was added in for drama purposes. And I could not, and that the guy himself, the football character himself, did not like it. He felt that the movie made him, you know, really, really hurt his prospect. That when it came draft time, people were talking about he was just this big dumb ogre, basically. And, you know, it was almost like he was just so remedial or whatever. Like, first off, you know, you can't. It was a time where they would just take a prospect and put him in college. You didn't have to really do any college work or whatnot. Those days are long gone where they were just passing people through the system and stuff like that. Those days are gone like that. So the fact that the movie was like that and stuff, I couldn't get into it. I couldn't watch it or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, once again, now you got the new Speaker of the House, and he's sitting up here and he's telling you this garbage right here. He's making those same comparisons. He's pointing out, well, yeah, but it's no different. Only difference is ours didn't run with a football. That's what he's saying there. Ours he didn't tackle people. He didn't run with a football. He didn't have a helmet and cleats on. So no. Like you say, DJ, that's why you have to have your own media source, and you got to kind of knock some of this stuff down right here, because this is BS right here. He's keeping a low profile. Like I say, a lot of people can keep a low profile. That don't mean you can't come out with one quote and say, hey, thank you, Mike, for everything you've done for me. Thank you, Mike. Congratulations on becoming the Speaker of the House. I'm so proud of you. No, it just don't add up. I'm sorry. It just does not add up. If he was, you raised this dude right here for at least 4 years. At least he got 18. We're saying for at least 4 years he lived in your house. You provided shelter, food, all this other stuff. Like, why is he so dead set of saying thank you? Thank you for everything you've done. I appreciate it. Like, I mean, there's one thing with having a low profile. I know a bunch of people that got low profile. I got a bunch of family members and friends and stuff. They ain't what being, they don't have, a lot of them don't have a social media account. They're not all a camera type person, picture type person, none of that kind of stuff. But if somebody that raised them actually became the Speaker of the House of the United States of America, and that person did everything for them and helped ensure that they would have a better life and everything, and was just absolutely positive, they would say, hey, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you've done. So this whole thing, and then you got, like I said, they talk about allegedly Matt Gaetz. He's got a Cuban son too that he's raised and stuff. It's like, yo, it's a lot of GOP up here adopting kids and stuff now, going to these orphanages and everything else, and getting a lot of these kids and stuff like that, and adopting them and everything else. Like, where is this coming from? Like, When have they been so kind-hearted to just start GOP Republicans just go ahead and start adopting non-white children? Like, when does this happen? Like, I mean, just tell me, because I've never really known this. I can't think of any offhand, and I could be wrong. I can't think of any major white Republican politician offhand that had an adopted black child. If there is one, post it in the comment section. I don't remember any of them, because if they had one, they're gonna put them on. They're gonna rack up them brownie points. They're gonna be putting them on TV to let you know that, hey, yeah, I ain't bad. I ain't racist. You see my black kid right here. So I haven't seen a whole bunch of these people with black kids running around. I hadn't seen a whole bunch of them with non-white kids running around, to be matter of fact. But all of a sudden now we got all of these white men. I'm gonna say it again. We got white men sitting up here adopting non-white kids. Please, Trouble, you got it.
Once we start adopting white kids, I bet you they'll start changing the laws on who can adopt whose kids. See, we ain't got enough black people adopting little white kids, so we can blacken them up and indoctrinate them into into our world. But let us start adopting some white kids, and I bet you they'll start changing some of them laws. But what Mike Johnson is doing is peak white people. You know, you haven't produced this black child, this black man, but you're speaking for him, and that's what white folk love to do. They love to speak for us, and this is Blindside on drugs. What he's doing, because he's using this black child, this black man, for his talking points to say, hey, I can speak for Black America because I have this, young black man that's in my midst that I raised, and hey, he's black, and even he said, okay, you're telling me what he said, Mr. White Man, and it's so cringy. In the article I was reading, he did the same thing that the other blind people did. It's almost like he watched the movie and he said, you know what? Gosh darn it. Shucky darn it. I'm going to utilize that to my advantage. I'm going to get me a black kid, and I'm going to speak for him, and I'm going to use. He used that movie for everything he's doing now. In his so-called testimony, he said that the child said, or the now grown man stated, had it not been for you, Mike, I would have certainly joined the gang, gotten on drugs, wound up in prison, or dead in the street somewhere. That's the harsh reality that we have here. Thank you, Mike, for what you did. But see, he didn't come out to the public and say that. This is Mike Johnson relaying what this black person said to him. How does that young man know that his life would have went towards drugs? He would have joined the gang. He would have wound up on prison. How do you know that, young man? You know how many young black men that there are out here that has been through the system that didn't go in that direction? So what is it about you, white man, that you just came in this boy's life and just totally changed the trajectory of his life? Because you was a white man that came into it. But see, we're not hearing this from this black person. We're hearing this from this white person who's telling us, once again, what this black person said to them, and you relaying the message. See, I'm going to call cap on all of that. I don't believe his story, and I believe he's getting free passes right now by nobody in the media really seriously calling him out on that. You're steadily speaking for this black person because, like you said, Toter, if this was the case, then how come this black person haven't produced themselves? Yeah, you want anonymity. You don't want to be caught up in the foolishness, but you would at least throw out a statement out there with your name, but nobody even knows the last name of this young man. So I think we need to get some investigators on the case to go back into this evangelical youth program and see what young boy, black boy there was at 14 years old in 1997 named Michael that mysteriously doesn't have a last name, but he got 4 children that he lived with in California somewhere, supposedly, allegedly. That's what y'all are saying. He done made a ghost. He found a picture with him and this black boy that was part of the program, and all of a sudden that black ghost just became a real person in his mind, and that he's relayed. There's another, what's that other man that's in the Congress house that he done told a whole bunch of lies, and they done called him out that found him with pictures where he was in drag and all kind of foolishness. That's what he's doing. He's pulling one of these moments. Nobody is calling him out on it though. You just come up with this fictitious black person that nobody knows, nobody has seen a picture of except for the one you took way back when. But you speaking on this black man's behalf to say, hey, this is why black people don't need reparations, because even the black man, that I raised, he said, hey, Reliance, I'm gonna call Cap and I'm gonna need him to be called all the way out.
Real talk, Trouble. That's what I'm saying too. His own, like I say, his own communications director doesn't even want to tell you what the man's last name is. Like, what's going on? Like, you can't give us a last name. We can't always. So Michael, okay, let's say in the United States, there's probably like maybe 30 million Michaels that live here. So that's really, really helping us. Thank you. We can't even get his last name. Go ahead, Mel. How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's going on, Toter, and everybody in the room? Shout out to everybody. Trouble again, hitting it on all the way nail on the head. The person you're referring to, Trouble, is Santos, and they are finally.
Yeah, Santos. I forgot that. I was trying to figure out the name too.
Yeah, well, they're making moves to get him up out of there now, get him up out the thing. But the thing with this, with your boy, is it's really even more sinister in my view, because. How do you have a 14-year-old, okay? This guy's going through puberty. This man is 24, 28 years old when he got this kid. It's giving me some LGBTQ type download type stuff. That's what I'm getting out of it, because there is no accountability. You don't have any proof. If this guy was such a wonderful, a result of being in this man's home and under his influence, you would think all the way up and down that they would have this guy on. You couldn't get his ass off the social medias and the TVs and the interviews and all this crap. So it's giving something a little bit more sinister, undercover than they wish to provide. And then I know when he first came out in Trouble, you had responded to this post I had made. I was like, oh, this sounds like this guy might actually be about that life. And he's like, yeah, he talks a good game, but then he always comes back with some bullshit. And he did come back with some bullshit, talking about now, we're gonna handle this woke legislation and all this crap. So I don't believe anything this guy's saying. It sounds like a bunch of lies. Somebody was able to produce the son, or this, and technically not even the son, because you never did adopt him. So was it your boyfriend? Are we looking at some type of pedophilia ring, or is that Pizzagate shit that they was talking about when Hillary was running? I mean, what's tea? Something ain't right, and I feel like we need to, let's get some disruption going on, some questions, something.
Well, here's the thing too, Mel. Like he's the one that brought up the whole son thing. Like he was trying to win some brownie points with everybody to show that I guess that he also he's big on diversity or whatever. So he brought up the whole son thing. Now, naturally, you're a white Republican, you're the Speaker of the House. You're talking about you have this black adopted son and this and that or whatever. So naturally, people are gonna be curious. Like, hey, okay, where is he? What's his name? What does he live at? So people are going to ask questions. Had you not brought this up, had you not been talking about your black adopted son for these years, and when you were just a lonely politician, whatever, nobody knew you, whatever, that's one thing, hey, okay, yeah, you want to speak against reparations. You'll talk about your black adopted son doesn't like it because it goes against being hardworking and self-reliant and this and that or whatever. Okay, fine. You're nobody. You're not on the radar. Nobody cares. Nobody even knows really who the hell you are. But now you are a big fish, okay? You're one of the biggest fish in politics in not only the country, but the world now. So yeah, when you sit up here and you talk about your black son and this and that or whatever, now people want to know, like, okay, well, you just had a major accomplishment here. Your black son's not going to come up here. Your adopted son or whatever he is, he's not going to come up here and give you well wishes and whatnot. Let you know, hey, I'm proud of you, this and that or what. Nothing. And the thing, like I said, that just keeps throwing me is that his communications director, the fact that she declined to say whether he was using the Johnson last name is just to me more than anything. That's the part that really is just kind of just tripping me up here. Like something like your communications director, even you think she would say, hey, you know what, Mike, we need to go ahead and we need to say something, this and that. But the fact that she's sitting up here saying, hey, you know what, I'm not going to tell you what his last name is. That to me, that's just like, okay, now we talking about red flags here. Now, what is so to the point that you can't even mention his name? Oh, a simple yes, he has his last name. A simple no, he doesn't. But the fact that you don't even want to let anybody know that he may or may not have his last name. Okay, what is he? What is he in witness protection or something?
Where's some family photos and all that? And then for him to just come through and be like, all right, y'all, just real quick, just run this memo information down to you. Here's what this black son that y'all ain't never seen. Here's what his thoughts are on reparations. First of all, why do we even give a damn what this kid's thoughts are when you're the person who's the Speaker of the House? So why do we give a fuck what that is? Why are you selling us this option? Why are you doing that? So that makes it even more questionable how honest and how truthful this story is. I sure would love to know. I would love to see some proof, something proof of life.
Carlos just left a good comment, and I got to read this what Carlos said, because when I think about it, like, okay, Carlos said, this is all BS. Conveniently, the process was too long, so he didn't legally adopt him, aka no paper trail to investigate. Word. Word. There's no paper trail. That's one reason. Like there's no paper trail. There's no, who says that? Hold on, man. This is a thing here that just makes, and even that was a dumb answer by him. Oh, well, you know, the adoption process. Everybody that adopts kids know that the process is long. Oh, the process was too long. Dude, you're a politician. You're Speaker of the House. I mean, what are you talking about? The amount of time that you had to put in to get your career going and this and that or whatever, and you're sitting up here talking about the adoption process is too long. This makes no sense. It makes zero sense. And now you got people like scratching their head and sitting up here looking at each other like, hey, this story is completely off here. Like how this, I don't know. It's something missing. Like how long will this dude be Speaker of the House right here? How long will he actually be the Speaker of the House?
But you know what? Here's what's crazy about it, because again, we have all these different politicians, and they're like, oh, across the aisle and both sides of the aisle and blah, scoop. And the thing is why aren't they asking about it? Why are they allowing this half-assed disclosure of who this kid is? Why are they allowing it? Because if I were in office, or Trump was in office, or anybody else up in this room were in office, we'd all be saying like, hey, wait, I'll sit down and explain this in detail. You were 28 years old and you did what with a 14-year-old? Well, see, no, you got to, and they black, you got to explain this. You got to explain this. And why is nobody asking? You know, those that his peers, his professional peers.
Mel, why aren't any of the black Democrats asking?
Come on with it.
Like why have none of the black caucus, they don't like that he's not, they don't like that he's the Speaker of the House. They think that he's this, he's that, or whatever. Why aren't they kind of investigating more into this? Like, hey, you know, what's up with your black son, your black adopted son that you talk about? Like, why is there like no proof that he's here? Like, what's going on exactly? Like, why won't you guys at least give us his last name? Like,
so should we? And okay, and you know what? And just to be honest, just to be extra, maybe they all know about it. So maybe we should be asking them. You know, hey, y'all tell us about this black son since y'all know. Since y'all ain't asking, y'all must know. Who is this kid? What's the team? You know, because we're not asking, they're not telling. He's telling us a bunch of bullshit. Excuse me, language.
I was gonna say, yeah, try not to curse, sweetie.
I'm sorry, my bad. But I mean, seriously, and as long as we don't ask, they ain't gonna tell. That's baloney.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely have to get a Twitter campaign going, because it seems like with a lot of times with these Democrats, they don't pay attention to anything, and they're not going to question anything. They're sit back seeing if they could work Mike Johnson the way that they worked the other white boy that was in office. I don't forgot his name, Kevin McCarthy. So maybe they're trying to wait to see if they can work him the way that they worked McCarthy. But we got to get a Twitter campaign on it, because once you bring that attention to social media, then they want to jump out in front of it and act like they was on top of it the whole time. You know, it's almost like you got to shame these people into doing whatever it is that you want them to do, which is absolutely ridiculous that he hasn't been called out from nobody, even the people who are on the fringe in their party on the opposite side. You know, there's a few articles here and there, you know, with people kind of mentioning it, but nobody really pressing the issue. And so we need to start pressing the issue online and start asking these questions, start flooding his pages with these questions in order for because people look at what we're doing and what we're talking about. So we're gonna have to talk about it. You know, we're definitely gonna have to talk about it. Mel, I'm glad you decided to come to the mic tonight, sis. I missed your last book special, but I know you got another book reading coming up, sis. I know you got another one coming up. I just went and bought the last book that you had too, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks, Trouble. Yeah, I do, and I, and I don't know, Toby, you mind if I mention this, because this really is a funded social.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Toby. So yeah, we're still doing Dr. Claude Anderson and Powernomics. We're still doing that, but we're about to embark on an exclusive platform for funded socially, and the book is called Killers of the Flower Moon. And the thing about it is, I've been hearing about this, and I was like, whatever, bump that title. But everybody been talking about it, and then Omar Johnson was talking about it, like, you got to go. Well, I found it. I said, let me check this out. And then plus Black State Migration, he was pushing it too. Man, this book is so off the chain, y'all. And shout out to CC Freeman, who always puts these posts up there that says, "Notice a pattern." I mean, there is a pattern there's one consistent thing, and it's the way white people do it. But y'all listen, these Osage Indian tribe, these folks hit it RICH. I mean, fat dollars. And boy, I'm telling you, the white folks had a problem with this situation to the point where they started killing folks. I'm telling you, and the thing about it is, it's a true historical story. So we are about to embark on this on Funded Social. Please, y'all follow. Y'all know what to do. Follow me. Follow Black. Follow DJ for show. Get on social. We about to run this book club and go through this book so that when the movie comes out, we can go through it too. It's a true story. And they put these Indians on the reservation thinking, they just stick them over there. They didn't know it was oil in them their heels. And them folks hit it big. Oh, my God. You got to find out about it.
All right. Thank you, Trevor. Let me give a shout out to, I see Naheem up in the space. Shout out to Naheem. Shout out to Black Majority State as well. No taxation. I see she's up in here as well too. So shout out to some of our people. Shout out to Miss Trigger over there on YouTube. She's right. Hey, everybody, don't forget to click, like, share, and hit the notification bell. Thank you, sister, for telling them that. Definitely go ahead. If you're in YouTube, make sure you do that, and make sure you also subscribe to the actual YouTube channel as well, guys. Also, for those that can, support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. This article actually came from one of our curation partners on the site as well, too. Shout out to the Neo Jim Crow. Shout out to the Neo Jim Crow. Visit that website as well too. A lot of interesting content as well. They're one of our curation partners who actually curates as well themselves. So shout out to them as well. And also for those that can support us, if you don't have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. For those on YouTube, that's all up in the description. So guys, definitely if you have $1 that you can donate on Cash App, once again, $Newstoter. We ain't asking for a lot, but for the platform, if you have $1, that is $Newstoter, $Newstoter. I want to read real quick. This is what the Congressional Black Caucus, in this same article, this is what they said, and they issued a statement. It says, Black lawmakers in Congress who are overwhelmingly Democratic did not welcome Mr. Johnson's rise. The Congressional Black Caucus issued a statement this week upon Mr. Johnson's election to the speakership, describing him as a Trump-backed extremist who wants to criminalize abortion and cut programs like Social Security and Medicare. Okay, that's fine and good to talk about his politics as well too. Still, what's up? I mean, you could mention his son as well too. I promise you, if the shoe was on the other foot, let this be like Donald Trump. And you think Donald Trump would be jabbing and poking at something like this if he found out like Donald Trump would constantly be poking at this scab right here. So what's up, man? Like, are y'all gonna actually talk about? Because we hear the same thing all the time that they want to cut. They want to cut. First, of course, we know they're going to talk about criminalize abortion and stuff, and we always hear about cutting Social Security and Medicare and this and that or whatever. And I'm not saying definitely don't have your political talking points on hand as well too, but being a Black caucus, I would think that you also want to know, like, hey, what's up with this mythical black child that this dude has? What's up with him? I mean, where is he? Is he missing in action? Is he on the back of a milk carton? Did Gilbert Grape eat him? Where is he at? So in the Black caucus, this is their time to go ahead and actually come out and say something worthwhile, actually do something, because we're waiting. We want to see. And you're right, Trouble. Now that people on social media start talking about it, because I believe Professor Black Truth also had I believe Professor Black Truth actually had a broadcast talking about this dude as well too. And like I say, this dude is basically using the actual black kid to go ahead and rail against reparations. That's what it all boils down to. And let's be for real too. Also, a lot of these Democrats don't want to touch that issue of reparations as well too. So that's one reason why they're not going to connect the actual black child and the reparations thing together, because they're like, oh, well, that's a losing argument. We don't want to talk about it. Let's just talk about the abortion issue, and let's talk about the never ending. They're going to cut Medicare and Social Security, which we hear every election cycle when it comes to that. They're going to get rid of Social Security. They're going to get rid of Medicare and this and that. So we're going to just keep talking about that. They know goodness well, like I say, he made a point of using the black kid, his black son, as like he said that, and this is definitely a conservative, a MAGA talking point, Republican talking point about the self-reliance. By you actually paying a debt, that's gonna take away from somebody being self-reliant. That has nothing to do with being self-reliant, man. You're giving a debt to a people that you've done nothing but take stuff away from. And then you want to sit up here and talk about self-reliance and this and that. So very interesting. Don't be surprised, now that I think about it, don't be surprised that a lot of these black politicians don't mention the actual son. They're not going to tie. Let's see within the next couple of weeks if they actually tie in the actual son and the whole little reparation remark that he made together. Because they seem, like I say, all of these people on the Hill and stuff, all these black people in Congress and stuff, they've heard about this dude's black child and stuff like that. They haven't said one word about it. You haven't heard any of them say one word about his black child. So where's the black child at? Like I say.
And I told her essentially what he's doing is playing the race card. And it's giving the LA Council when the guy was like, I'm so hurt because you're talking about my black son. I'm just so hurt. Come on. Hell out here. You're playing the race card, and every time you get ready to demonize anything Black American, you're going to say your son said. The son you didn't adopt, the son who was already 14 years of age when he came up under your tutelage, and I'd like to know what kind of tutelage that was, okay? Your son, quote unquote, doesn't speak for us. You're talking about a 14-year-old kid who came under your influence, and all of us with our intellect and our life experiences and our age, we're all supposed to bow down to this 38-year-old who don't do that. That's a whole
Who won't even show himself.
Huh?
A 38-year-old who won't even show himself.
Come on. If he even really exists. So yeah, and I'm like, if the CDC, the Congressional Black Caucus feels like, hey, we don't blase scoop. All right, well, we need to jump up on whatever social media post they put that on and be like, hey, well, while y'all at it, where's the sun at? This to me, we need to really get serious about this one because this is out of pocket. It's a race card. It's a phantom person who does not exist, and I'm not going to believe it. I don't believe it.
Democrats are not going to say anything about this because they've moved away from the black folks talking points. Had this been a couple of years ago, they would have been the first ones to run out the gate about the black son because it was all about them being able to utilize the race card to, as far as black folks go, to the fullest extent. Right about now, they've moved on to the immigration train. So if you would have said, hey, I have this adopted immigration son, this adopted kid from Venezuela, they would have jumped on it. Hey, we need to see this adopted kid from Venezuela. Then they would have, but their talking points is moving away. And again, like Newstoter pointed out, because he mentioned it in reference to reparations, they definitely don't want to have that conversation. But if he but let homie come out and utilize his black kid for talking points against abortions and LBGT and A, B, and C and any of those other, and immigration and any of those issues, then maybe they'll jump on it. But reparations, oh no, they're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. They glad his black kid came out and said, so they don't have to say it.
Yeah, and you know what, Trouble? Maybe that's the hashtag that we need to come with. Where's homie? Since old boy's so black, you feel me? And the son is so black and black conscious. Okay, where's homie? And we should be all over TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Where's homie? Hashtag this shit. And let's see if we can't disrupt some stuff. Because everything you said is absolutely right. Democrats aren't going to touch it. Why should they? And then we're all just, like you said, we're all just as Black Americans just supposed to be in a second place watching it happen with no power to make any changes. It's just out of pocket.
And real quick, guys, I want to read Carlos. He dropped another little comment that's actually worth reading. So let me get to this comment real quick that Carlos had.
This folks is definitely out of pocket for sure on that one, Mel. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, sister. And then you would make sure y'all check out the Only Male Cruise show, the Only Male Cruise show on Screw 2. She did a very, 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 very dope interview with our sister Larisha Bonds, aka Aunt La, concerning her case out here in stinking New Jersey. Unfortunately, there's a lot going on. Hey, Art, I'm trying to bring you up.
Hey, DJ, can you hear me?
Mic check 1 2. Are you there?
Hey, DJ, can you hear me?
DJ, can you hear Toter?
Oh no! Let me drop down. My bad.
Yeah,
talking smack.
You're in the Matrix. Let me go ahead and drop it. Let me go ahead. Art, I'm gonna get to you. Let me read this comment real quick that Carlos wrote. Carlos says, just a question. Isn't taking custody of a child without proper documentation legal consent called kidnapping? Hey.
Carlos, that's what I'm saying. Or was it sex trafficking?
I don't know what it is. And like I say, from an article I read, they was talking about Matt Gaetz. Apparently, he's got him a Cuban son or something. Like everybody, like what's up with all of these GOP finding all of these? Yeah, I'm not even going to touch that. Go ahead, Art. Go ahead. You got it. Unmute your mic.
Yeah. Just started off. I'm always pro no speaker ever. Just putting that out there. With that being said, this man only got in office with like 5 votes. So we need we even double it. So we need 10 reps on board to sort of hold things up or get his ass out. And you can remove speaker at any time. So unlike most positions, I would say the speaker, we have disproportionate leverage in getting out. So if this becomes a problem, we should make it more of a problem. That's really what I want want to get at. I posted in the Jumbotron if you want to check the resolution to get it empty. And again, we only need one ref to bring it to the floor, but anywhere from 5 to 10 to hold, to hold the line, so to speak. And it would secure the bag of getting his ass out. So I'll end it there.
All right. Thank you, Art. Appreciate that. DJ, how's your audio? Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I'm better. My bad. Excuse me. The room got quiet. I thought, you was out for a minute, so I hopped on the mic. But go ahead, though.
Oh no, it was cool. I didn't know because you had started speaking. I don't know if you could hear me or not. I had said something, but no, it's cool. I was just checking to see if if you were able to hear and everything else like that as well too. This situation is a crazy situation. I see somebody already put the hashtag up there. A sassy lady said, "Where's homie?" So that hashtag, that might be the hashtag to get some attention as well too. You got to make sure that you go ahead and you tag him up in the post as well too. So you got to start tagging him up in that post. You got to ask him about where's the adopted son at? Where's he at? Is he in this country? Is he in witness protection? Where exactly is he at? We're looking for him. I mean, you've done all this great stuff for him. This was the Blindside too, except he wasn't toting the rock. He wasn't playing ball or whatever. He had, he didn't have the athletic prowess that the other black man has. So, exactly show us exactly what's up. I see we got
Sassy lady. Shout out to Sassy Lady for helping with that hashtag. Yeah, let's get it moving, y'all. Let's push that one. Let's push it for real.
Definitely. Let me I see we got a new speaker up here, F Arkansas. Did you want to go ahead and say something?
Absolutely, and my username is exactly like it said, exactly the way I meant it to be. I don't back off of that. Okay. Now, after spending 20 years in that dump truck they call a prison system, a slave plantation, actually, that's exactly what I meant for it to be. Now, check this out. He's from this new House Speaker. He's from Louisiana, right?
I think he is.
Okay. So you mean to tell me all those black folk, according to African Diaspora Channel, Phil Scott said, Louisiana is one of the blackest states in the union, and nobody don't. Let me stop before I cuss. No black people don't know anything about this guy adopting. Let me get my religion back in check.
Yeah, we trying to figure that one out as well too.
Hey man, I done crashed my plane. I'm done.
Okay, that was a short ride, but we appreciate you coming up. Hey, that is that's odd. Like I said, nobody seems to know where this young man is at. And like I say, for everything that we said so far tonight, the thing that I keep coming back to is that forget what he says. His actual. And I'm not a politician. I don't know exactly how these things run or whatever like that. But the simple fact that his own communications director declined to actually say whether the young man was actually using the family's name, I just think that you can't really overlook that. Either it's yes or no. But the fact that you say, well, I'm not going to give you a yes, I'm not going to give you a no, I'm not going to say, to me, that's just really, that's just the red flag right there. I mean, I don't know what else you could say about that. Obviously, this person, they're trained in dealing with the public, and they're trained in avoiding certain topics and talking points and situations or things of that nature. And he just says, you know what, I decline to say about that. So I mean, and the only reason that they declined to say that is because actual Mike Johnson himself did not want them to say it, not because quote unquote the adopted son didn't want his information. No, Mike Johnson said, don't tell him. That's what it was. Mike Johnson made sure that they didn't find this information out. Don't let them know. Don't tell anything like that. So this ain't finna go away no time soon. Like you said, if y'all crack that hashtag out there as well too, Yeah, this is gonna be on point right here, guys. Make sure y'all share this space out tonight as well. All my people on YouTube, make sure y'all share this broadcast out as well to everybody in the space. Definitely go ahead and share it out as well, guys. Let me go ahead. I see we got uh I am Heat 305. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's going on, family? I was watching Lisa Cabrera's podcast when she spoke on this, and she supposedly said that the kid didn't want anything to do with this guy's political career. He didn't want to be in any family picture portraits or anything of that sort, which I found kind of odd. And on top of that, he supposedly lives in LA right now, trying to keep a low profile. So that's all I know so far for the family.
Thank you. Yeah, we've heard that already as well too. Appreciate that. I am Heat. We've heard that he doesn't want to have anything to do with the politics or whatever. And listen, that could be so true. That could be very much true. But my thing is this right here. He can't say one thing and then just fade off and be gone. Because let's be for real. Mike Johnson just became the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House is not like being the President of the United States. It's not like being the Vice President. It's not like being, so it's not like the average person on the street is going to see Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson knocks on most people's door. They're not even going to know who the hell he is. He just became the Speaker of the House. So it's not like it's not like he has that level of notoriety for one. It's not like he's Nancy Pelosi or Newt Gingrich, people that that was speakers for a long time. Most people are not even gonna. He just became, so most people are not even gonna know. So I can understand. You say, hey, you know what? I don't have anything to do with this or that or whatever. But the simple fact of the matter that hey, they can't even say his last name. To me that just sounds fishy. I mean, just being honest, that doesn't even sound right. Uh, no taxation. How you doing tonight? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, News. Hope y'all are good. Hey, DJ. All my peeps, the whole village. I hope everybody's doing good. I smell a setup. And I'm going to tell you why. We should ask him about his black son. Because this is the show and tell season. And so he needs to show us and tell us. That's one thing, but he's really showing and telling us something else. DJ, I'm going to send you an article, and you can put it up in the Jumbotron, because I don't know how to do it. In 2019, Mike Johnson said that reparations is unconstitutional. That's 2019 he said that. And we were in the throes of the pandemic. Probably nobody paid attention. But I smell a setup. Looks like that's who they wanted to be Speaker of the House anyway. That's what it looks like to me. He's a Trump guy. Slavery reparations, that's what he called it, is unconstitutional in 2019. Why did he, as Speaker of the House, come in and say he had a black son who doesn't believe in reparations? See, I smell a setup. And my question is this to the political parties. My question is this. Democrats want to crumb us to death, and they don't want to do pure reparations, and they don't really want to do a check, okay? And then you got their biggest foe and their biggest enemy is Trump. They're neck and neck. Trump is actually leading in the polls, but it's not over 5 points against Biden. So they're neck and neck. And this guy Johnson, he's a Trump guy. So is he speaking for Trump? Because that's something that black folks need to know before we vote. See? Maybe we need to ask Trump, where does he stand on it? Because he's a Trump guy. That guy is a Trump guy. He might have to get him straight if he wants to get back in the Oval Office.
Trump gonna say, look at my African American friend over there.
Or at least his African American friend better come with a check. Or at least give them a run for their money, and maybe he can get out of trouble a little bit. Cut down on what he got to pay. So I smell a setup.
Why is it all of a sudden we got this guy as Speaker of the House talking about reparations? He ain't been there a hot week, and that's what's on his mind, and it was on his mind in 2019. So I want y'all to do the math on that. It's for me, it's less about him saying he has a black son who doesn't believe in reparations than him saying he don't believe that reparations is constitutional in 2019, and we over here in 2023, and he's singing the same song, but he's blaming it on some black son that we ain't never seen before. Something in the milk ain't clean, and I smell a setup. And I'm gonna send you the article, DJ, so everybody can read it. And I'm gonna end it there.
Thank you. No taxation, guys. Tomorrow night, I'm not gonna be hosting a space or YouTube, so I'll be back Thursday. Check us out Thursday. Tomorrow night, I will not be holding a space podcast, so I will definitely be back Thursday night. Just to give everybody the heads up, just to let you guys know. Also, like I say, guys, also make sure if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, slowly growing it. It's up in the Jumbotron. Make sure you guys, everybody that's in the space, if you have not, go ahead and subscribe to the Newstoter YouTube channel. It is small, but it is steadily growing, and we need to keep growing. So definitely go ahead and help us go ahead and continue to grow the YouTube channel. And also for those that are able to support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Let's see if we can at least get $1 or $2 in donations a night. If you got $1 and you can afford to donate it, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you do not have the Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. And for those that's on YouTube, we have all of those in the actual description. So let's see if we can at least get $1 or $2. If you got $1 that you can donate to the actual platform, not to the actual YouTube channel, not to the actual Twitter space, but to the actual platform, newstoter.com, the ultimate curator in Black news today. Definitely please go ahead and support us for those that can. Let me go ahead and get to we got Black majority state up here. I'm definitely Black. I've been having some issues. I'm gonna holler at you in the Black channel. I was having some issues getting on the social, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit you up in the back channel when I get a chance and just let you know. I was having some login issues, so when I get a chance, I had told DJ about it, but I'll go ahead and hit you up and let you know the particulars as well too. So I get a chance, I'll go ahead and definitely let you know that. But I definitely want to hear your perspective on this situation with Mike Johnson and the Black kid, and is he here? Is he there? Where he's at? Also, like we was reading earlier about the Blindside, the correlation that they want to make between these two. We now know that the correlate, and we already knew that the Blindside was a bunch of BS anyways. But it definitely with Michael Orr coming out over the past couple of months is stating that it was BS. More and more people are kind of seeing that. But this dude wasted no time making that correlation between this story and his story. So let me see what you got to talk about, Black, because I'm definitely interested to hear what you got to say tonight. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how's it going? Newstoter, DJ. I'm doing good. Finally got stopped. And I've been listening to all the comments and the different directions they're going. And, I guess we're all speculating because nobody knows. But I looked as hard as I could and really couldn't find much more than I sent you. But the one thing that when people were talking about sex trafficking or things of that nature, and kind of were pointing to the guy, as I was looking, I started pointing to his wife. They were young, whatever, in their 20s, mid-20s, early 20s. I cannot find her age, which I think is a little interesting, being that they're public officials. She runs some massive Christian organization. They said she's been scrubbing all of her anti-LGBT information off of her website and everything, which is what it is. But if I'm thinking back to myself when I was 14, and all the things that were going on in my mind, and to be in this house with in a situation where you could be manipulated, to be quite honest. Now, it looks like her daughter or their oldest child came shortly after their marriage. But I wonder what caused the kid to leave the home. Because again, you know, when we look in the news, we see a lot of these teachers, and they tend to be of that particular complexion that go after younger boys. We're seeing this a lot, and it probably has been happening a long time before we actually started getting it coming up so often in the news cycle. Because it seems like she has a total disgust for, you know, whatever, LGBT, gay, yada, 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 super Christian. But I've been around some super Christians, and they fly the freak flag. Let me put it that way. You know, it's a lot of that stuff ends up being just for TVs or cameras or whatever. And I just think that's a precarious situation for people who, to be honest, don't really know how to be parents. They're just starting out, and then they bring in what is almost a full-grown adult male into their household. That just seems very odd to me, to be quite honest, at that young age. Unless there was like some connection, like they knew the family. The one story that I looked into, it says his father was a firefighter, and I guess the chief or his partner was also a firefighter, but he was a black man that was this firefighter that I think died in a fire or something of that nature, and then his father was injured as well at some point in that career. So, you know, I'm thinking, well, does this kid have some connection to that family in some way, shape, or form? But at any rate, you know, it does follow the line of the white savior complex, where they think that, you know, they're going to essentially save the life of a black child. The Blindside, in hindsight of everything we know, is a horrible example, a horrible analogy. And if they know the true depths of that story, maybe they're actually confessing to something by making that analogy, to be quite honest, because now that we know how they used him and, you know, things of that nature. To Miss No Taxation's point, I do believe that this guy is smart enough, he's been around long enough, he's been in politics long enough, that as soon as he mentions this kid, everyone's going to want to know about it. You know, it's going to be long investigations. Eventually, they will track this kid down, this adult male at this point, and then he'll be able to tell his story. And it's interesting that he didn't want to be a part of their politics. And almost, I'm thinking it's the same way. He didn't want to be a part of their religion or their household. He essentially moved as far away from those people as he possibly could to start his life. So I just think from a lot of different angles, it doesn't really spell like a good thing for these people. The Mike Johnson, he's got a Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but it looks like he's had this Facebook for a while. I would try to look into their social media. Her Facebook it looks like it's now private. But that's why I would look through their friends, and if I was going to do research like that, I would look through their friends, try to follow their social media timeline. There are some older pictures and stuff like that there.
All right. Thank you, Black. Thank you. Mel, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, thanks. So I just went on ahead now, and I just started got the little hashtag moving around a little bit. I just commented under Rob Reiner, who is not a fan of Mike Johnson. So I commented under that. I'm about to go to your YouTube channel and put in the comments if I can. But my question is this: why, if Mike Johnson's black son didn't want to be, he wanted his privacy protected, why is Mike Johnson bringing up the black son? Why are you mentioning him at all? So it's just even more. That just makes it even more questionable. And when Black just said that, he thought about the wife, and you know what? That got me to thinking. They just had a teacher who was on probation or something of that nature, who went over to the son, the boy she was having some inappropriate relationship with the student. She's supposed to be in a no contact order. She goes over to the mom and the boy's house and threatens to kill them because they ruined her life. So when Black made that statement, I'm like, you know what? It could be one of those type of situations. So we really need Mike Johnson. You brought him up, Mike, so now you're going to have to produce this guy. We want to hear, and it is questionable that he said he don't want to be part of the politics. It's interesting. Maybe it is he doesn't want to be part of Mike Johnson's politics. So where's homie? Hashtag where's homie?
All right. No taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Well, one thing we know for sure is that white supremacy plans well in advance, and it's always for a multi-layered reason. I believe one of the reasons he brought that black son up, because he didn't say nothing about him in 2019 when he said reparations is unconstitutional. Politically, I believe he brought him politically. I believe he brought him up to tell black folks that we're not even going to talk about reparations. And as the Speaker of the House, I'm telling you that right now. That's what I believe. I believe it's more than a clear signal that he's been saying publicly that he's against reparations. And he couldn't say it the way he's been saying it because he wasn't Speaker. So that was his polite way of saying it. And bringing in this black son that we ain't never seen, don't know who he is, ain't never heard of him. We don't have no pictures of the boy. He's using him and throwing him under the bus to let us know that he's not even going to negotiate on anything that has reparations for us on it. I think that's one of the reasons why he's saying that now. I'm sure there's others, but I'm quite sure that's one of the main reasons. And I'm going to leave it there.
All right. Thank you. No taxation. Somebody else had their hand. DJ, did you have your hand up? Somebody had their hand up.
Yeah, I had it up by mistake. But I see Rella down there trying to creep up on us and scare us this Halloween. We ain't slick, sister. I see.
Oh, Rella's up in the space. Okay, shout out to Rella. Long time no see. Hadn't seen Rella in a hot minute. What Jerome used to say when he was on Martin? No, you can't call nobody. Shout out to you, Rella.
And the dude in Wendy's was dressed as the Joker. He was cursing people out too, yo. He was the manager. Well, I'm so serious, manager. Flip my burgers.
Hey, Reps was asking me on YouTube, how did I come across the picture on? I guess he sees a picture on YouTube. It just was in the article, so I mean, the Neo Jim Crow, they had the actual picture in there, so it was just in the article. So hey, that's what this is, the actual picture of the husband and the wife and him, I guess, as a teenager or whatever. This is the actual picture. So this was on the actual connected to the article. So that's the only reason we was able to come across it. Was it? Yeah. Was it? Or was it? No. Was it on the article or was it? I don't know. I think it was connected to the article. But either way, that's how we came across it. I think it was either on the article or it may have been on Google somehow. We stumbled across it. But hey, it is what it is, man. Trying to see if anybody else, because like I say, tomorrow night, I will not be hosting the space. So guys, definitely I'm trying to let y'all go ahead and get it in tonight because we're gonna be closing this one out soon here. So definitely definitely been a good space.
Personal day off. How dare you take a personal day off for your
Well no, I got a school function to go to. My son, he's in the band, so I'm gonna be going to the little school function. Yeah, so yeah, so it's gonna be ain't no telling, ain't gonna be out too late, but I figure, hey, I'll just go ahead and we'll hit it back Thursday night or whatever. So we'll definitely be back Thursday night. So y'all definitely make sure everybody comes out to the space and support Thursday night as well too. And definitely, like I said, I'm trying to get anybody up here. I know Rella, I know you may be at work or whatnot, but I'm trying to get some of our speakers up, get a couple more speakers in here before we go ahead and we close it down tonight. We've had some good speakers. Everybody was.
Come on, Dad, come on up there, Ray. You know you doing your thing, brother, with your family. Don't be shy. You know what I'm saying?
Ray.
OG, where you at, OG? You know what I'm saying? We'll talk original. I know you ain't sleep original. 42. All right.
I did post Michael Johnson's where he's getting his funding. His top, the top donor is Israel. I find that to be funny because if you look at previous years, he didn't get money from Israel. So I feel like what I think No Taxation was saying, this was preordained. There might be more to that. I'm gonna do a little bit more following the money, but I posted the link so others can too.
All right, appreciate that, Art. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we got.
Hey, label, you banned for a week after last night, bro. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Oh yeah, yeah. OG, go ahead, you got it.
Oh yeah, shout out to everybody. Newstoter, host, co-host DJ. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the room. Peace, prosperity, reparations, longevity, everything else that we want. I don't know, guys. I'm trying to figure out all the signs that we're getting, everything that's going on. Is that like some kind of writing on the wall for us? Is it always going to be in our face type of shit going on? Like, damn. Every time we turn around and just putting shit up in our face. And it's just
Try not to curse, OG.
do something. Say it again.
Say, try not to curse.
I'm sorry. I apologize. That's some of the passion, I got to try to rekindle some of that because it's getting old. But yeah, it's like it's in our face. So I'm trying to figure out when we're going to really get kind of tired of this shit. I'm sorry. See, that's just how bad it is. That is how bad it is. And I'm sure some people feel worse about it.
You're frustrated.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. Just, what they used to tell me when we were like, frustrated and whatnot, the old heads back in the day used to say, keep on living. You think you're frustrated now, keep on living. So it's just it, man. That's just kind of my ultimate question is, how long we going to just continue to put up with the in our face, right? Like daring us to do anything. I dare you to do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what the dogs dare you to do something.
That's what it is. That's part of what they want. That's why they came out with those automated dogs, and for whatever reason, because remember they were gonna get those dogs. They would start turning those automated dogs loose last year, but somehow the people in San Diego were like, no, not now, not yet. So
are they planting bombs and shit? Bombs in those dogs?
Well, no, these dogs are supposed to be the kind of dogs that no matter what, you cannot take them down. So you can shoot them, you can do whatever you want to do, and they are going to get you, just like straight up out of that movie RoboCop, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's some new training.
Oh,
we gotta get new training because the only thing we know how to do is fight live German Shepherd. Well, the old heads, the OGs know how to fight live German Shepherds.
Right.
I don't know about this generation here.
Yeah, that's why they got these new AI dogs out. But they haven't turned them loose yet. But it's coming. It's coming. They just didn't do it yet. But you do sound discouraged, and OG, you sound discouraged. But we all get to there. We all feel that. So there's nothing wrong with you taking a break, breathing, turning off everything, and re-energizing yourself so you can get back up in the fight. But you're right. It does seem like every time we look up, here goes something. They're coming up with something new. And it's never just a one issue attack. It's always on multiple sides, multiple angles, multiple levels. So if you're tired, get you some rest. And
they dare us to do anything about it though. That's my thing now is they dare us to do anything about it. Like literally they dare us to do anything about it. They bring a problem, and the problem won't go away until they take it away or something, right? That's man, I gotta wonder about that. We gotta do some pivot practice or something. We gotta do something. Because maybe I can say that it's in our face, and others, other OGs can say that it's in our face. Maybe the younger generation just hasn't recognized yet that it's in our face. I don't know. It's.
I don't think they're on. Some of them aren't as conscious as we are, as this, the circle seems to be.
Maybe they say they are. They go so far as to say we dropped the ball, like that. So.
But that's not. But even that's not really conscious, because we can say that our ancestors dropped the ball. We all dropped the ball somewhere. We all been bamboozled, misled, lied to, cheated on. You understand what I'm saying? We've all been through that. But you got some who are for real, and they understand, what time it is. But then you do have some that they really don't care. They feel like, look, I don't know when this world's going to end, and I'm just going to enjoy this and live. So their focus is different, But if you try to analyze all of that right now, or even the total period, it's just going to burn you up, because there's some that just don't get it. They're never going to get it. There's some that will. You got some that's going to stay in Cancun, So just get you some rest. Take a couple of days off, or quick vacation, and feel better, and then come on back.
Been there, done that. It's fine. I'm good. I'm just wanting to be able to express myself to the point where, I'm still up in the middle, no matter how I want to do it, because I do want to put up a fight. I do want to get things straight for my people. But yeah, at the same time, it is frustrating, because right at this point, it's perpetuated beyond imagination, really. Dang, who remains, oppressed for 500 years and all that kind of stuff? What is that? Does it make sense for us to fight against the oppressor and God, or what the heck,
I'm not monopolize the stage, but I'll say this, and I'm gonna mute my mic. Just when the Israelites in the Bible, they were like, Moses had to keep going to Pharaoh. Let my people go. Let my people go. They were steady, like, Jesus, Lord, when you gonna fix it? And they weren't fighting against God. They were just doing what they knew to do. And the scripture even says that the Lord heard their cry, and boom, then we went through that process. So we're not fighting against God. It's gonna take God to fix this, though. That's what I think. But let me land my plane.
Well, yeah. And so the speaker guy, he's using his black son now as a verbal shield. What? Wow.
Yeah, say you hate reparations, son. Say you hate reparations, son. Oh man.
Hey, that's right.
All right.
It's just crazy, y'all. It's just crazy. I don't know who can take action, or who can. We look for people that's able to articulate, all of the ills that we want to talk about, but yet still, there's no actionable movement. And in fact, the more momentum goes into treating immigrants. So doesn't really matter to us whether we understand what he's done using his kid as a verbal shield. It doesn't matter what we think of it, because he's being allowed to do it, or either no one can debunk whatever he's talking about. If he's using a kid as a shield like that, then the sky's the limit for him. He can tell us anything.
All right. Thank you, OG.
Guys, thank you.
No problem. Appreciate that, OG. Thank you. Let me give a shout out real quick, because I was just about to say, I know at least somebody will donate to the nice platform, but thank you to Ms. Trigger. Thank you as always, sweetie. I appreciate it. Thank you for your donation. And for anybody else, like I say, guys, if you got $8 that you can donate to the actual platform, not to the Twitter space, not to the YouTube channel, but to Newstoter.com, the largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform. And we ain't asking for 50, 100, 20, 10.
I cannot hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Rella? Rella, I'm going to drop you down because you can't hear. Or she dropped herself down.
Tripping in the matrix.
Okay. Well, let me go back to the advertisement. If you got $1 that you can donate to the actual platform, not the actual YouTube channel, not the actual Twitter space, but to the actual platform that puts out content every day. If you don't believe me, go look at the Twitter page and forget the Twitter page. Go visit the actual website. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to do. Visit newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking black news. So, guys, if you got $1, anybody in the space has got $1, we got about 50 some odd people in here. Definitely, for those that can, definitely, please, we appreciate it if you can donate to the program or the platform. Either one. You can say program, platform. I prefer to say the actual platform because the platform is bigger than the program. So if anybody that can do it, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Once again, $Newstoter. And if you do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. And for any of my people that's on YouTube, the Cash App is on the screen and the Venmo and PayPal is up in the description. Rella, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Well,
I don't know why I decided to go out when the cue ready to come on.
Well, long time no see. What's going on, stranger?
I owe you a phone call, so I will make that happen. I'm just taking it one day at a time, and I think for the same reasons that OG mentioned, a lot of the same reasons that OG mentioned. The difference I think is with us is, distance makes the heart grow fonder, but action allows you to develop, trust within the groups of people that you are fighting for, and it's hard to do that when, again, there are a lot of elements that we all deal with personally, and we're all dealing with socially. When it comes to us as the descendants, listening to the stories about this man and even the connections with Israel, it makes sense because that's the reason why the United States, one of the reasons I think the United States is failing to denounce, mass genocide, even in their faith, even from the mouths of the people in Israel, their government talking about how, that they're killing mass numbers of people, children, women, children, and men, and they're doing it in the name of their own, religion, their own power-hungry structure of trying to maintain some sort of position of authority. But yet, they're not even in the United States, supposedly, which I think that's a lie. I think Republicans, Democrats, and whomever it is who has a connection to Israel, they are all operating in the United States government. And they utilize the government as a shield, if you will, to perpetuate the things that we're seeing today. When Israel says that they don't want to talk about the hand that they had in during the slave trade, during chattel slavery, I beg to differ. I think the people that you do see in positions of authority in government are the descendants of people from those who actually caused the most harm to our people, and they do not want to see our repair. But I tell you, Jericho has to fall and Jericho will crumble because they tell on themselves daily. You introduced your young black son into the mix, but blackness is not predicated on the repair of reparations. History documentation and a lineage actually does. So now you've opened Pandora's box for us to talk about who is this black son. And Bell was so right. I want to know who is homie. I would like to know, where did he come from? What's his lineage? And who is this young wife of yours? When did you marry her? And what was her age? See, they are always trying to seem like they can do whatever they want to us, because I think at the time our ancestors were getting updates little by little, right? But media is spreading quicker than they can actually meet in their night meetings, in their robes, and in their curtains. We can actually spread information quicker than our ancestors did. So to OG, I would tell you, hang on in there, because you just need an update. You need an update, and you need some direction. or you need to get around some men like Black Majority or Black American Homeland or Muffet, or people who are going to keep you encouraged, like Newstoter and DJ. And they're going to get you the information that you need to keep going, because it's not that the struggle is not there. It's that now you just need an update on what's going on so that you can make a decision on how you want to move, even in the state of your life right now. And it's best to do it as a collective than trying to do it alone. That much I do know. So I don't know if I had a word today, but I know for a fact when the devil plays his hand, God plays a bigger hand. And we need to start being on that side where we've been getting ready to play a bigger hand and stop running from these people. They open Pandora's box. We need to go ahead and blow it all the way wide open. Stop allowing them to hide back under rocks, go back into the behind the scenes, and we don't know who they are. We need to start now making a list of who they are, who they connected to. Why is it that they have these connections? These people are connected to war criminals. And we have to actually address them as such. Ron DeSantis did the same thing. That's why he was trying to hand over Florida to Israel when he went and signed that declaration, when he went to visit Israel. So I say that we need to take the information we know, what we have, gather, do some more intel, gather more information, and we need to blast it. And we need to blast it as what it is. They are domestic terrorists hiding behind the scenes. And for anyone who would deny America's oldest citizen, America's oldest person, the repair and the justice that's due, they are domestic terrorists. And we need to call them out as such. This ain't the blind side. We can see clearly. Okay, I'll end. It's so good to hear from you all.
And it's good to hear from you too. It's been a little minute, but I'm glad that you came into space tonight.
All trying to scare us on Halloween.
Yeah. Oh no, I never do that. Never ever. I love seeing all of you guys. I miss you guys. I miss Trouble, Mel, No Taxation. I miss you guys. Reba, I see everybody in the building. Ray is in the building. Everybody's here. Turner, I mean, we are the answer. We are the answers to what we want, and we need to make sure that we see this thing through, even if it means that we do transition, because I'd rather fight or die fighting for something than just die. I'm just saying.
Yes, ma'am. I'm glad again that you came up in here, and I know everybody has to charge their battery up differently as well too. So just whenever you feel like stopping in, Rella, even if you just want to listen, we understand that as well too. Just swing by when you get a chance. It's always good to hear from you. I enjoy when you do come up and speak as well too. Let me give a quick shout out to DJ and a quick shout out to Asia. Thank you both for your donations. I'm gonna see. Okay, we got no taxation. I thought somebody else had their hand up too, but let me go ahead and kick it back to no taxation.
I just wanted to piggyback on what Rella just said and Trouble and to OG. OG, we're people of a particular age, you and I. And what happens is we've been fighting longer, and we get weary because of age. It's the aging process that makes us weary. But I will say this, because everybody can do something, even if they think it's nothing. And I'm going to tell you a backstory first. Just travel with me for 1 minute. When Dylan Roof went into that church down there, Emmanuel, and shot those old people up after they welcomed him with open arms, and he shot them all up in the church, I was livid. And, that was in South Carolina. I'm up here in New York. What can I do? And I said, well, one thing they need to do is take that damn raggedy Confederate flag down off of these public places. So you can't say nothing about it privately. People can put that flag up on their own property if they want to. But I don't have a problem with that. I got a problem with them putting it up on taxpayers' dimes. That's what I have a problem with. So I started tweeting, take it down. And the article is in my bio. I was by myself doing it. I tweeted, I promise you, I was so upset about that I could not sleep. So I continued to tweet. I tweeted Nikki Haley and Lindsey Graham. I didn't talk to nobody else because I knew those two could get the flag down. See? And Color of Change came in, and pretty soon it turned into something so viral that they had to take that flag down. Now, this was after that Lady Bree climbed up the pole. Remember, she climbed up the pole and took it down? And as soon as she got on the ground, they arrested her and gave that raggedy ass, that raggedy flag to an old black man, and made him raise it. And I was worse off before the people had died, from being murdered in the church. And when they put that flag back up, I was ready to hop on a plane, see, because it was too much for my soul to bear. To ask the old black man, older than me and you, to go out there and put that flag back up. That was a slap in his face. They spit in his face as far as I was concerned, because they knew that man needed his job and his money. Okay? So you know what I did? I tweeted and tweeted. All I talked to was Lindsey Graham, and I talked to Nikki Haley. I didn't cuss at them. I didn't say nothing out of line, but I told them, take it down. Get that rag down. Get it down. And Bree went up there, took it down. They put it back up. I was still tweeting. And in 48 hours, 72 hours, that rag came down. See? And that's what you have to do. Rather than talk to each other, sometimes y'all need to be talking to those people in power. And this is for everybody in the room, not just OG. You don't have to at me. At Michael Johnson. That's who you need to be talking to. At him. Instead of arguing with each other, spend some of that time talking to those people in power and making those people in power move. Because here's what we know for sure. Every single political office in this country, federal and state, has people who read Twitter and see what goes into their office and what the people are talking about. And if you at them and put their name in it, they'll see it quicker. And if you do it so long and so much, they'll have to pay attention to you. See, that's how you get things done sometimes on social media. See, we all can't go to South Carolina and knock on Nikki Haley's door, Lindsey Graham's door. So we have to do what we can the best way we can. And that is to use your account, your social media account, for the betterment of black folks. Us. Use it to push us forward. If we would do that one thing, we would be further along. And I'm going to leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, No Taxation. Shout out to, I see we got a couple of sisters up in the space. I see we got Tata and Rera up in here. I see Hilda up in here as well too. Amira, I see you up in here. So shout out to some of the sisters. I see Freeman Reparations up in the spot as well too. So shout out to some of you guys. That's towards the bottom of the screen. Big shout out to everybody. I hope everybody's safe on this Halloween night. If you did take the cheering trick or treat, make sure you check their candy, because we got a bunch of nutcases out there as well too. So definitely make sure before them kids start eating that candy, y'all check it thoroughly, okay? Because you got a bunch of nutcases out here. So go ahead, Rella.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to hit the 100, but
oh, you're just trying to put your hand. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Right quick, I posted on your YouTube page for everybody to like and subscribe and everything. Something about the subscription. When you hit the subscription bell, the notifications bell, click all and not personalize. There's some because YouTube is quirky. They act kind of funny. But if you click, because Newstoter generally just does live video. So if you click all, that'll translate to it, and you'll always get those notifications when he goes live. So do the all when you're subscribing and doing the notifications bells rather than personalized. That works a lot better.
Thank you for that, Trouble, as well too. Thank you on that. Let me see. DJ, you had your hand up. I know with no taxation. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, it was something I did want to say. I can't think right now. Oh yeah, the son is a Cowboys fan. That's a red flag right there. There you go.
You said the son is a Cowboy fan. Okay. All righty. So, well, I mean, if anybody else wants to say something real quick before we close it out, definitely feel free to come on up here. If not, then I guess, like I said,
Let me thank Sister, the only male or male. Thank her for the encouragement, brother. Everybody, no taxation. Appreciate you guys. I just have a genuine concern, and I don't know who it was that was talking about the robotic dog or the AI dog. Did anybody get a weight on that? How much that AI dog weighs?
nah.
So I know how I can throw it against the wall.
Right. These are really big. They're big.
Big and heavy.
Yeah, they're big dogs, and they can't be. I mean, some type of way they can be destroyed. But these are the same. One of the purposes for these dogs is so that they can send them in if somebody is, for terrorists is in there with bombs and bomb sniffing and all that kind of stuff. They don't went knee deep in there, but I don't know what the weight is. I'm gonna look for it. And hopefully I'll find it before Total closes out.
They done went Terminator on us. It's like the Terminator. That's what it is. Because I know we did a space lash on that. Did we? Are those dogs able to shoot anything like that?
Yes, sir. They got guns bigger than you.
I'm about to say, I know we did a space on that, so I couldn't remember if those dogs able to shoot and everything else as well too.
Well, they know we dealt with the live dogs, with the real dogs. We dealt with that. They couldn't wield that, but so much. Okay. Probably a few of those animals knew that they were on the wrong side of history.
The real talk. Trouble, go ahead, unmute your mic.
Okay, I know you're getting ready to close it out, so I just wanted to do a quick plug right quick. Everybody, if you could please remember to follow the Only Male Cruise here on Twitter, and also go over to fundedsocially.com. That's where she will be holding her book club and space about that. It's important that we start to follow a lot of our brothers and sisters who've been on this app doing these book clubs, because they bring some pertinent information, and the conversations are always glorious, and the female cruise baby is always on point. And so if you do not have an account over at fundedsocially.com, please go over there and create you an account, follow the links. There's a gang of different rooms that you could join and contribute to. We got to start working our way off these platforms so that we can congregate amongst ourselves and start doing some things a little bit differently, for the 9-5. So let's get together, congregate together. Let's get these book clubs popping. She getting ready to put a fire one on about that, about the flower moon, killer of the flower moon. So I would love to see a lot of you all over there. Do not forget, fundedsocially.com, the one and only male cruise. Don't forget to go to newstoter.com. Even if you just got to go there, click through some articles. Do that once a day. Just a couple of articles. You don't got to read them if you don't want to read them, but baby, hit that website up. Let's do this.
Hey, that's real talk right there. Definitely support Mel. Mel has some good book reading spaces also on some of her Twitter spaces on here as well too, guys. She definitely does a Dr. Claude Anderson. So definitely check her out. Check her out on Funded Socially as well too. Like I said, I got to go ahead and get my account straight too, because got my password or something. So I got to get that straightened out so I can get back on there as well too. OG, I see you got your hands up. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh man, that must have been by accident. But yeah. Shout out to everybody who, you guys put in that work, man. And I appreciate the passion from all of you, every one of you, man. It's wild to me. I'm just thankful that we do have enough people that have some energy and willing to put forth. I mean, we don't talk and dwell on martyrdom and all that kind of stuff, but we have a common interest in our people, but we like to settle things amicably if we possibly can, but they're not giving us those options really. So that's why they continue to put stuff in our face like this and daring us to do something about it. Really. So we're gonna have to rethink some of these situations as we develop further from what everybody is trying to work towards. The work is not in vain, okay? But we don't know if it's are we trying to fight with God or what? Because the same people that if you're scriptural, the people that put Jesus Christ up on the cross are the same ones that he died for, okay? And by the same token, the same ones that put him on the cross, they're responsible for that. Just because it had to happen, just because God decreed that Jesus must die to satisfy this sin debt, just because that happened and it had to happen, does not negate or does not absolve those people who put him up there from any wrongdoing. You got to understand that. It does not absolve them, even though God decreed that it must take place. So I guess he orchestrated it enough where the perfect scenario came up that it could come about. Okay, so we're going to have to do some orchestration on our own. Okay, we're going to have to do some extra fasting and praying, because these extra demons, these not the regular ones. Okay, these are the ones we got to do extra for. And so we got to learn which ones those are or which situations those are. And we got to escalate. Yeah, thank you guys.
All right. Thank you, OG. Let me go ahead and get to Mel. Mel, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, thanks, Toter. OG, you preaching, Mike. You preaching. For starters, I found an article about the dog, and I put it in the comments, so you'll be able to kind of that's good enough to be able to get started and find out what you need to find out. And essentially, we talking about the scripture real quick. Had Israel accepted Christ when he pulled up, this wouldn't even be a problem. You understand what I mean? But because they wouldn't accept him, according to the scripture, because they wouldn't accept Jesus Christ, they said, okay, well, when they finally, and it takes all of these things, but when the last person accepts Christ, I'm talking about in Israel, that's when we're going to move to the next episode. So that's a lot. It's all in the book of Revelations. That's a tough book for some. And, we just stay encouraged, do what we can to encourage each other. And you're right, OG, it's the fasting, the praying, it's all of that. It's fighting back sometimes. It's turning the tables over in the temple. It's all that. It's all of that. So, and then shout out to Trouble for saying all the good, kind words about me personally, as well as Funded Social, because as soon as your boy over here gets ready to talk about X, as soon as he gets ready to say pumps and a bump, boom, it all goes dark, and where we gonna be at? So yeah, we need to be getting over there to social. I actually recently just got off the LinkedIn because the people over there talking like they got it going on and black is king. You can only talk like that because they letting you. That's all. So anyway, let me land the plane. It was a great space. Toter, thanks for letting me speak, and hope everybody has a great evening.
Thank you, Mel. Definitely. Let me go ahead and get the Black Majority State. Black, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, thanks for allowing me to speak. Shout out to Miss Rella. She came in with the fire tonight. So I really appreciate her words. To the OG, God helps those who help themselves. Quite literally. Everything that, and someone just posted something outside of Michigan where they're building a village, they're calling it Freedom Village, new houses, townhomes, and they're for immigrant populations. So this government is not just being disrespectful, not just doing all this stuff right in our face. I'm really starting to use the term irrelevancy, and I think it's a situation where it's not even that they're daring us to do something about it. I believe they have calculated based on, these successive extrajudicial police assassinations in the streets, that there's not much that we are going to do. And if we're not going to do something about that, then are we ever going to do anything at all? I think the answer is not really. Not a whole lot, and certainly nothing that is coordinated and organized to a point where it will actually change anything on a state level or a national level. I thought Chicago would prove that not to be the case, because people were saying Chicago's different, and we all know Chicago is different, but outside of a few press conferences, I haven't really seen anything that leads me to believe that, much is going to change there, because these people keep trying. They keep trying. And they wear people down. And then eventually people just accept it as the new reality. And then it becomes the new reality. And I think that's really where we are at. And I don't think there's a lot of resources coming in our direction. They're certainly not going to give it to us. If we create these organizations and we start going after the money, and then it turns out that even after doing the work, we still are locked out, like the Freedmen's Bureau reimagining of that bank that just occurred not too long ago, where a few people were locked out who actually did register and who were supposed to be in there. I mean, that's a real physical, visual example of how the United States of America feels, thinks, believes, whatever word you want to use, about our particular population. And so, I just think it's up to us to help ourselves. And we talk about what we feel is the best way. There are multiple different ways and multiple different plans, and I think we should try them all. We should move forward with all of them. But ultimately, if we don't control every aspect of our environment, and we don't have the authority to enforce the controls over every aspect of our environment, over time, because again, these people just whittle away, they break your spirit, they break you down, they just keep coming. They do stuff in the middle of the night when you're at home sleeping. Eventually they will have you right back in the same situation. So I'll just end with that.
All right. Thank you, Black. DJ, I'm going to go ahead and let you get the final word in, and we're going to go ahead and close it out for the night.
Next space. Go ahead, close it. Let's get it.
All right. On that note, guys, like I said, thank you to everybody that came out to the space tonight, all the speakers, listeners, co-hosts. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate all my people on YouTube as well, too. Like I say, tomorrow night, we won't be having a space, but we will be back Thursday night, guys. So definitely tune in. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitter. And for those on YouTube, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube. So, guys, everybody be safe. Have a good night. Go ahead and check DJ Space out, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you Thursday night, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Peace to everybody on YouTube, guys. We'll be back Thursday night. Y'all have a good one. Peace.